I don't know what happened.
Don't judge me. I know. That's bad. On this episode, I'm taking the tow truck from a total beater to less of a beater. So stay tuned to see me polish a turd. Let's get into it. First things first, I want new tires. These are 215, so I'm gonna square it up and go with 235s all around. These back ones look not safe. I've already towed like 8 cars with this thing and it's holding up. I put a BMW 7 Series on the back of this and nothing popped, but I don't want them to. I went on Amazon and picked up these Lexani Terrain Beasts. They were cheap, so the rear is getting 4 of them. I am not gonna trust my life with cheap tires, so I'm gonna swing to Discount Tire and get some KO2s.
Yeah, that's it.
Jock it, lift it, jack it, and then we're gonna start doing tires.
Awesome.
That's how we're doing. I don't want to bend the arms though. You know?
Bend the fucking arms, I'll replace them.
Oh, they got little dings in them, but that'll work.
When the wheel falls off, I'll be like, probably should have put a wheel bearing on it.
Is it loose?
Nah, it's good.
She's good.
There she goes.
Look at that Euro paste. There we go.
Roll it right in.
Wheels are straight. 2.5, 2.25. Not bad at all. Balance, yeah. Look at that. Save one of these for a spare.
Fuck that. If I have a blowout on the road, I'll take it to the tire shop. Oh, God. Okay, that's it, bro. Sketchy. That was the biggest shit show. The front right rim is bent because we moved the rear to the front because it had a non-hub centric one. So we got a hub centric one on it. This is just for reference. This is the driver's side, but now it is seated around here perfectly. In the rear, we had 116.5. We didn't realize it, tried to mount it. Destroyed the bead on this tire. So that's a new tire that's trash. We had to put this old 16.5 tire back on, so it's on the passenger outer. I gotta get a couple rims. We're on 5 new tires, so it's a little safer. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Shout out to my buddy Adon for hooking me up with 2 new rims. New. As you can see, we are now on Lexani's in the rear, and that front right has been replaced. Oh. Enough with the tires, let's move into some lighting. These taillights got to go. These outer lights only do running, and the inner tiny little ones are the brake lights. I would rate that as shit. The reverse lights also don't work. I'm less concerned about that. One day I'll hook them up, so I'm gonna go ahead and put new ones on. I also really hate those lights with a passion. So those gotta go. I went ahead and ordered a more modern light bar. Let me show you what I'm working with. Definitely got a little credit card happy. I'm gonna start with the taillights. I like the way flatbeds look with the about 45-degree pattern and triple lights. So that's what it's getting. Then this is the unit I got as the roof bar. I imagined it being solid for some reason, but I didn't look too close at the pictures. It still looks good from the side. You'll never see the top, which I don't like the way the top looks. And then if I have the room, the plan is to run 2 light bars on the side. Those ones are good for like flashing. The other 2 are gonna be for seeing what I'm loading up on the flatbed. And then they were so cheap, I just bought 2 more. So ideally I can mount 2 forward. That's all subject to change. I just bought them because they were cheap. I think it was like 30 bucks for 2 light bars. So I was like, click. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the brake and the reverse lights. Okay, I was hoping to pull that off and identify the wiring, but I gotta go to the backside. This is the mess we got going on. This is a shit show. I'm gonna identify those. You guys don't care about that shit, so I'll just label them and we'll go to mounting. Ow. I'm gonna see how they look. I might have to move this plate. I went ahead and went with the surface mount lights to just make this process easier. I didn't want to cut a slot and put the grommet in. Now I can just take self tappers and ram it through. So the idea is something like, I guess it doesn't need to be right at a 45. Something like this though. So the license plate is in the way unless I go straight up. Which I don't like the look of straight up. So I'm gonna move the plate over as much as I can. This thing's bent. This thing's bent. I'll hit that one from the backside. If I make them all touch, I only have to move the plate an inch, and I have an inch. They're gonna touch. That one's hanging on for dear life. Gotta be very careful with this because I'm gonna run this plate. Oh, maybe I'll run that plate. 2017. I'll probably run this temporary. I think it says it's good for another 3 years or so. Fuck. Ask me if that worked. The answer is no. That worked. I like that a lot more. We're gonna go ahead and get that side done. First step is removal. Are you guys ready to see the final product? I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So much better. It's modern. I was just trying to get the mounting done before the sunset, so I got that done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and mess with the wiring. It's pretty simple. The old one's grounded through here, so the brake light only had one. This is obviously the brake fire, the brake fire hot, the brake hot. This is the 12 volt for the brake light. This one, I don't know because I ripped it out without checking, but it's gonna be one of these two that is the running light. I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this up and get them functioning. So here's a little B-roll of how they look. Taillights are wired. Brake lights wired. Reverse, not worried about it. Tomorrow I'm back at it, working on the roof light bar. Beautiful day for some golf. I almost hit the BMW. So close. Taillights are done. I'm moving on to the light bar. I've already started with the removal, so I'll get the rest off right now. Light bars, I should have got slightly wider ones. So actually I might come closer. Should I be using lube? Yes. Got one mounted, let's mount the other. All right, I got the side light bars mounted. The front one's just floating right now. I was trying to like level everything. So I was using that door jamb as a reference. But even if you look at this support, it is further out than that side. We can tell by looking at like the door jamb to it. It's clearly past it. And on this side, you can see the door jamb by about like 2 inches below it. So this metal thing is not square to the cab. I left a little bit of adjustment in these, but it's not gonna be perfect. And I'm not too concerned about it. I kind of want to get some coffee. I feel like I'm dragging right now. So I'm gonna quickly bolt down the center, and that's all I really feel like doing today. So I'll be back at it tomorrow. Six inches. So now I just got to drill 2 holes, 1 and 1, and this thing will be mounted. I think it looks pretty good. None of this is wired, but they are all mounted. And I do plan on trimming these off, but I don't have a sharp enough Sawzall blade right now. So chop, and that will look like that. I like it. Time for some nighttime coffee, and I am helping a buddy move a 2-post lift. So I'm gonna go take care of that. Back at this tomorrow. From bumper time. I went ahead and got the upper valance that goes on top. I ordered the lower portion because this one has bolts rammed through it. And then I got a new lower valance as well. The angle of the bumper seems off, so I was looking at it, and that bolt is not tight, and neither is the one further back. Much better. Now the angle is right where it should be. I'm actually thinking it's gonna be easier to assemble all these off the car. So I'm gonna pull the bumper, but first I'm gonna mark where the third bolt hole needs to be drilled so I can drill it with the bumper out of the way. Perfect. Fuck. Courtesy of some bolts not wanting to loosen, I'm gonna attempt to pull just the chrome piece and leave the mounts. So I'm gonna attempt to get it as straight as possible, tighten it so that the mounts don't move when the chrome is off it. That'll work. This bumper has clearly been replaced. We have junkyard marks right here, and this thing is bent to all hell. I'm not too worried about it. It's not that bad. I don't see that anything else got hurt, so maybe they just got stuck and had to be pulled out, and they hooked it to this cross member thinking this tiny piece of metal would be strong enough to pull a 10,000 pound rig out, and that's not the case. I'm gonna start with mounting those up good and tight, and we will go from there. I found some nice giant hardware to hold this stuff on. Now I gotta plow the hole. These are dumb. These are not stupid. This thing is not going anywhere, and future me is gonna hate myself for this. This is a 19, this is an 18, and this is a 17. So that's not gonna be fun to figure out. I love editing. I'm at the point where I'm ready to put the chrome bumper back on, and that's because the bolts that hold it on are under the plastic pieces. Now that I see all this damage, that puts me at a stopping point. Today I went ahead and got a piece of steel. I don't know what thickness it is, whatever that is. Decent. I didn't want to go too thick because my welder is not the most powerful. So I said this thing wasn't that powerful. It's actually very good. It's 220. The issue is running it on 110. It doesn't have the power to punch really thick stuff. So I found my extension cord, and I've spent the last half hour repairing it, aka putting that end on it, stealing it from the table saw, and the extension cord is back in business. So I'll be able to fire this thing on 220. I've gone ahead and cut out the factory piece. The thing is mangled. This is the new piece mocked up. I'm setting it behind where the other piece went. I started looking into the frame bracing kits and they just don't seem to solve the issue of these Dodges wearing out steering boxes. I found a kit that does, and it does that by extending the sector shaft and mounting it with like a skid plate thing. And I think it goes up to this cross member right here, the one I cut out. So I ended up doing everything the way I did so that I can weld a piece of channel right here. That's why I didn't cut it further back, so I can use the stock location to line everything up, lay this, and then drill some holes in it for the brace when I get it. The brace adds a spherical bearing down here. So it extends the sector shaft, adds another mount here, eliminating the side load on the box, which blows out these boxes. So I think that is the best way to tackle this. Who knows when I will get to do that, but that's why I'm designing it the way I am. So I'm gonna go ahead and buzz in this 3x3 tube. I am probably going to hold off on the channel till the kit comes in because I don't know if it needs to be... In theory, I should be able to just weld it where the old one was located. But I don't know if the channel needs to be wider or anything, so I'm going to just leave the channel out, weld this tube in, get the bumper done, and later on down the road when that reinforcement comes in, I'll deal with that situation. Pretend this is the steering box with the bearing in it. The kit from Dodge Off-Road adds this mount right here and braces it to the frame. So this is where I'm welding in the cross member right here, and this will come up and bolt to that and support it down here. So it's not just supported up here with all the load out here floating, it wears the bearing out. So by supporting it down here, you line it up in 2 points and prevent it from blowing out this upper bearing. With it mocked up, I want to pull on the steering wheel and see if this falls out. If it falls out, that means it is flexing the frame rails. Okay, it didn't fall out. Once I started looking at it, I didn't really think frame flex was a big deal. So that's when I started looking into the brace kits and really discovered that it's not the main issue. The main issue is the lateral load on the steering box. So I'm gonna go ahead and order that kit because I want this thing to steer straight. Anyway, I'm gonna pull the welder out and start buzzing. I got everything ground down to bare metal. So now I'm ready to pop her back in for the final time. Pretty good push on 220. Oh, that's a fire. I haven't welded in years, guys. Stop judging me. I'm happy with this route down here. I feel like I got nice penetration. So I'm gonna do a cap. So I had to show it before I ruin it. I don't know what happened. That's trash. I think the voltage was too high. I kept the voltage the same, turned up the wire feed a lot. Don't judge me. I know that's bad. There it is, all buzzed in and drip painted for maximum rust protection. Yes, my work has gone downhill in the fab department. I don't fab anymore, but it felt good to pull out the welder. Anyway, that was a huge distraction. So I'm already starting to lose sunlight. It's time to get the chrome back on and get the plastics on. I'm scared. That's solid. That's without the side mounts too. I'm gonna button those up. Chrome is solid. Now I can get the plastics on. It snaps right into place with these plastic tabs. Now let's do the upper one. Yep. That's not supposed to happen. Or that. So I clearly ordered the wrong part. It's short, about 1 inch, and I've broken it over here. So yay me. But yeah, it didn't quite fit. Whatever, I'm just gonna run it like that until I get the correct part in. So I'll just pretend that didn't happen. And I didn't waste $100 on that, and I'll just enjoy my life and not worry about the money that I burn all the time. Also, I meant to order this lower bumper piece in black, and I'm not too convinced that that's black. I think that's gray, and that's black. So yeah, apparently I suck. Wrong parts happen. It's probably my fault, but it looks better from this far away. There you go, guys. This thing is beginning to look like a really nice truck if you're legally blind. But I definitely had some good progress, so I'm very excited as to how it is progressing. Still have a load of work. I was hoping to fit a lot more in this video, but apparently there's going to be a part 2. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe and share my videos so that I can afford a new upper valence. And if you think this truck is pretty cool, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.